Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rafaela, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you how God cares about us. You're wondering, how are you going to show that? I'm going to share with you guys a personal experience of mine that I had not long ago, and it was very emotional for me, so be ready to see some emotion. It also is a promise that I made to God to share this in case it happened, and I'm really glad to share it with you guys because sometimes we feel like God doesn't really care about the little things in our life, and the story I'm about to tell you proves otherwise. Let's get to it. So, I'm going to have to tell you a little bit about me to actually explain this situation so you understand the impact that it has. But I'm a person who's very my love language is physical touch. So when I care about someone, I like to hug people, or I like to hold them, not hold them literally grabbing them, but hold them. That's the way I like to help others when they're sad, and the way I like to show my affection. On the contrary, my best friend does not like physical touch at all. So we've known each other for 6 years, and with her, it's very different than what relationships I have with other people when it comes to that. So when she comforts me when I'm upset, she doesn't hug me because something she doesn't like. The day that it began, I was in my room, and it was like 4 a.m. because I had been scrolling the whole night, and I started crying because I really felt like I needed a hug. And I thought it was silly to ask, or even childish, or I don't really know how to describe it, but I felt like it was stupid for me to ask for such a thing. But then I started crying, and I said, God, I really want to hug my best friend, even if it's just a dream. Even if it's in a dream. I don't know why, but that day, in that moment right now, I have never felt the urge to hug my best friend more than then. That moment, I only thought about that, and I fell asleep thinking about it. And then I also said, God, I want to hug you. I'd love to hug you even if it's also in a dream. When I wake up, my best friend texts me, and she said, even though you're kind of upsetting me lately, because I like to make her mad, rage baiting her, she said, I have a gift for you. And as soon as I read that, I knew what it was. I knew it was a hug. And I was so I don't have words to describe it, but I truly felt like God sees me and God cares. Because the day before, I really felt like, okay, God, he might hear me, but maybe he won't care, you know? I literally told God, I don't feel you anymore. And God is not a feeling, but I think it's something I can explain. And it's not like God is a feeling, but I just felt distant, you know? When I read that, I was like, no way. Because we only hugged, and I can't even call that a hug. We only hugged 3 times or less. And it wasn't a normal hug. It was just touch and go. That was nothing. For me, someone who actually needs physical touch to express my feelings for people, it was nothing, okay? And it's not that I didn't get along with my best friend without physical touch. I did. But I did also struggle when, for example, I saw her crying and I couldn't hold her. Yeah, the thing I said, hold her, be there for her in that way, because that's how I help other people. For example, we have another friend that we share. It sounds so terrible saying we share a friend like she's an object, but no. When she cried, there's been many times that I hugged her, something that I don't do with my best friend. So there's that difference. And sometimes I felt very helpless when I tried to help her, because if I don't hug her, what do I do? So I resorted to trying to make her laugh, and it works every time. But it's cool because God makes us work on our skills to help others, even if it's not the way we want to, or the easiest way. I realized that my best friend sometimes needs one thing and another friend needs another thing, and it's okay, it's totally fine. But moving on to the main focus of this video. And then on that day, the day after I cried in my bed, and my best friend said she had a gift for me, I didn't tell her that I knew it was a hug. I felt like it was, I knew it was God telling me, that's it. I didn't hear anything, but I just felt it. I knew. It wasn't a doubt. I was I knew. And if it's not, I didn't need to shake the whole desk, but if it wasn't, I'd be really surprised. I was so freaking confident. And then we hung out, and we were outside, and she actually told me what it was, if I think it went that way. And I said, yeah, I knew it. And then I explained to her that I had cried the night before and that I asked that to hug her, that it was something I really wanted. And she started laughing. So, yeah. But we didn't hug at that moment. Then, and we had a situation that same night, and that's when I hugged her. And that's the first time, I'm trying not to get emotional. It's hard, guys, it's hard. But it was the first time I actually hugged her. And I felt so good about it. Because even as a child, people used to say that I was a little bit too not harsh. I was the kind of kid that used to run up to my friends to hug them. And they used to like say I would hug them a bit too tight. And I would be like almost hurt them. So I also kind of lost that part of my personality because of that. And since my best friend doesn't like physical touch, it's something I do even less. But that hug healed something in me. So it's funny because she was the one crying when we hugged. But it was exactly what I imagined it would feel like the night before. And that's why I'm making this video, because I promised, the moment I read her message, I promised God, if she hugs me, I will make a video about it and I'll share it. And I have many experiences that I haven't shared and that I feel like I should share. And I wanted to share this with you guys because God cares. God cares about you and your desires, and doesn't have, even if it's materialistic, if there's something you want. And sometimes I feel bad for asking for things, but we shouldn't feel bad for asking. He's our dad. And I really think about it. My dad, well, biological father, if that helps. If I can ask him something and he gives it to me, why won't God do the same? But not in a I just want stuff way. For example, my dad, I know my dad, that's the point. I know my dad so well that I know if I ask for something, he'll give it to me. And if he says no, he has a good reason for it. I know my dad so much that I know if I mess up, he'll still, like, for example, another story of mine. The other day, I wanted to go out with my friends. And I did not want to tell my parents because they don't let me out at night. But we weren't going to do anything. We weren't going drinking, partying. We don't do anything of that, so no reason for me to do that. But since my parents didn't want me to do that, instead of being 100% honest, sorry, I have to grab a tissue because my nose is killing me. Give me a second. Oh my gosh, I can't open this. Wait, please open. These nails are not helping. These nails are not helping. Okay, my bad, y'all. But when I cry, I have typically I already have a running. Anyway, I'll call it drippy nose. I already have a drippy nose, and when I cry, it's worse. But where was I? Okay, so instead of telling my parents and being honest about it, I said, no, I didn't say anything. And I put, instead of leaving the house with regular clothes because I was going to leave at night, I left with my pajamas. And even though my parents got pissed because they found out, because I had a good strategy, but my mom she asked me if I was going out and I couldn't say no because I don't lie. So, yeah, and then my father said he was very, like, upset because, you know, I was hiding stuff from them. And even though I did that, and this is the part where I think my dad is like Jesus the most, even though well, you can say I lied. I don't know if you consider it a lie, but I did hide it. So even though I did that, my dad still took me to my best friend's house and we still got to go out. And that's what I want you to think about. God can forgive us like this. My father, as soon as I put on my clothes, took me to the house. And that's how his forgiveness works. And that's how much he loves us and how much he cares about us. And you shouldn't feel ashamed or guilty or anything bad about asking for something that you need comfort, you need help about an illness that you have, about a situation that you feel like everything is killing you, pressure of not having friends or for having friends that don't follow God. Like anything that's bothering you, you can ask him because he cares about you. I promise you, I swear on my life, he cares about you. And this is not okay, he cares about you, but he just say it. He doesn't actually care. He cares about you. He knows you. He made your heart. How will he not know what you need? He made your heart. He made my heart. He knew what I needed. And I thought I was being dramatic because, sorry, I was on my period and I cried a lot. And I was like, maybe I'm just being dramatic. But God knew I wasn't being dramatic. It was a wound that I had and I carried for years. And I just didn't let it out. And I let it out that night. And he fulfilled it. I let it out. When I cried to him, think about it. When I finally told him, God, like, I cannot do this anymore. It hurts me. Please let me have this. It worked. And I'm not saying cry to God so you can get a freaking Ferrari or a good car. Like, oh gosh, I can't take it anymore. I really need a nice car. No. But I'm not also saying that it might happen to you. It will be like instant healing. I don't want you also to think that. It was my experience. It can happen to you. But don't, like, if it doesn't happen, don't think that God doesn't care about you. Because I had cried about this before. But this was a very different experience. The way I cried that time, it was very different. And I'm not saying you have to finally, like, cry all your tears out. And also people, like, think sometimes that we haven't prayed enough or cried enough. But sometimes it's just not the right moment. I suffered with OCD. And I suffered for a while. Like, in the beginning of my journey with Christ, there was a while that was terrible. It was terrible. It was completely ruining my relationship with God. It almost destroyed my friendships. It destroyed me as a person. And I used to cry to God during that time almost every night. Please get me out of this. I cannot take this anymore. And there was a day that it did happen. Did I cry like more than 10 times? Yes. Did I have to surrender it to God more than 10 times? Yes. And sometimes the best thing you can do is, instead of waiting for God to do something, start actually working in the waiting. That's what I did. I tried to figure out what was going on with me. I didn't just cry, sit in my room and cry. Because sometimes we tend to do that. And that's okay. If you actually need a moment to sit down and cry, do it. I'm not going to be the one who tells you not to. But sometimes we need to realize that maybe our blessings or maybe our healing hasn't come yet because we need to take action. The thing that helped me, I don't advise everyone to do this because some people might not be good at filtering the information, but I watched videos about what I could have. Don't ask ChatGPT, please. Please don't. It told me I had depression. Don't do that. Search videos on it, like the symptoms, and if you actually have the opportunity to go to a psychologist, if that's what's bothering you, if it's mental, if it's physical, I don't know, with all due respect, that part is not something I've experienced, so yeah, but I've already kind of drifted from the main point, but I just want you guys to know that in your darkest moments and in your lowest moments, and even in the smallest wounds that you think nobody knows or nobody cares about, the smallest desires, it can be a foolish childhood desire that you had since like you were born, something small that you never told anyone, or you have told someone years ago, but you don't want to repeat it and keep saying that you have it, or a dream that you think it's like gone, it's lost. God cares. And God can fulfill that dream you have. So please, please don't give up on God, because He cares about you. He loves you. I love you. I love you, okay? And I really hope you experience something like what I did yesterday. And I've wondered for a while during that period, why did others heal so quickly and I didn't? And now I've realized there's a time for things to happen quickly and there's a time for things to happen slow. Sometimes things need to happen slow so you can actually learn, and sometimes things have to happen quickly because it's already done. And that's all it is to it. I'm really happy I had this experience. I'm really grateful. And I really hope this reaches the right people. And if you guys ever need anything, you can write it in the comments and I'll try to help as much as I can. If you ever need help with, for example, if you also have OCD, I can recommend some people that I've watched that help me. But really, what I want to say, I've already drifted a little bit, but guys, Jesus is amazing. Okay, Jesus is amazing. And he cares about you. He died for you. He died for you. And something I also want to say that's been on my mind lately that has nothing to do with, maybe it has a little bit to do, but if God puts a desire in your heart to you to do something, you might think you're not enough, but God wouldn't put that desire in you if he didn't know you would be able to do it. For example, why would he call Moses to free the Israelites, if I'm not mistaken, if he knew he wouldn't do it? Because Moses thought he couldn't do it, but God knew. Because God is not in the present. He's in the present, he's in the future, he's in the past. He's eternal. He's not limited like us. He knew Moses was going to free his people. He knew it, even though Moses said, no, I'm not, I can't. If I'm not mistaken, he used to, I don't really know the word in English, a stutter. He used to stutter a lot. But God still shows him. Even with our weaknesses, he chooses us. And there's that freaking phrase or sentence, call it whatever you want, that really makes sense. He doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And it's so true, because I wasn't always like I am right now. And I'm really glad that I had to work through it to actually learn. Because that's my story, that's my life. And I'm really glad that this is what Jesus chose for me. And I really hope that God can do for you what he has done for me, or even more. Okay? I hope that you can feel loved and seen as I did last night. And I hope that everything good happens to you and that you can fly to the sky with blessings, and that everything goes well for you. And if you're in a phase that nothing is going well, God is still good and God still cares about you. Because if I think about this, if he wanted the worst version of you, where you are full of sin, why wouldn't he want you now? He will always want you. He will always love you, and he will always care about you. So please don't ever forget that. Once again, God sees you, and he will never let you down. When he promises something, he will fulfill it. Okay, but I don't know if it's God. You'll know. Trust me, with time, you'll know. God will fulfill every promise that he has ever made to you. And open your heart to him. Show him your wounds. And he will heal them. Now that is a promise. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. If you watched so far, please comment down this emoji. And once again, if you need help with anything, you can comment down, or any topics that you want me to also debate, or if you want me to share more of my experiences, if this is something that you liked, feel free to say it. And also don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. God bless you, and see you next time.